Hey, King's family. Today is October 2nd. Now, I had mentioned that King was going into surgery on September the 28th, 2021. And we definitely got to our surgery date. King got his colostomy back, and he's doing awesome. Now, pretty much on Monday the 27th, we got a COVID test. Next day, the 28th, on Tuesday, we had to go into the hospital to register at 7:30 a.m. and then we went straight to the second floor. There, they took a good while before they took King into surgery. I can tell you that they started the surgery at about 9:10 a.m. Okay, so the doctor came out about, it was actually at 10 a.m. exactly, to let me know King did awesome, that King has a huge colon, and to kind of just warn me, like, the ostomy is going to be huge, Keep in mind, King has had a colostomy in the past. Compared to it now, guys, it's definitely, excuse me, it's definitely fucking huge. While we were waiting to be called back to recovery, excuse me, I was eating a burrito. I'm gonna say it was a nurse, the recovery nurse. A guy came out, says, we met him before the surgery, and then he comes back and says about, I want to say 15 minutes after the doctor came, so 10:15, says, do you have another one of those catheters? Which I told about 15 people, whatever you do, do not touch the catheter in the belly button. I told the surgeon, do not stitch it, please. A lot of surgeons, for some reason, stitch it. It doesn't need stitching. Very good doctor. Very, very good doctor. Very professional and fucking badass. If ever in my lifetime I would have to go under the knife, he would be the one. That would be for like a tummy tuck and Brazilian butt, though. I'll clap with it. Anyways. So, dude comes out, says, I need one of your catheters. Do you have one with you? I'm like, yeah, of course. Again, because I'm the only one that carries all the damn supplies here in El Paso. So I gave it to him, but I kind of questioned, like, what the fuck? But I'm going to, like I said, I'm trying to change. So, I was calm about it. I had a friend that went with me, and we saw that nurse kind of look at the catheter like, what the fuck is this? And I didn't want to say too much. I didn't want to intervene. I just gave it to him, and I just said, okay, let him do what he needs to do. So I wasn't comfortable. So my friend went to go ask, do you guys need help? Because he came for a catheter. Can you ask them if they need us to go back there? And no, they did what they had to do. But it took from 10 a.m. that King was done with the surgery till 11 when we got called to the back. So I was nervous, guys. That's why I took a friend, because just sitting there, from all the surgeries that we've had, I know when to panic, and it doesn't take that long for us to go back to the recovery with King. And it took an hour this time. So I kind of said, hey, you know what? I went up to the dude at the desk at the OR waiting room and said, can you check on King Leal, please? This is ridiculous. It's been an hour. It doesn't take this long. He's had major surgeries and it's never taken this long. Something happened because they came for a catheter. And I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Dude says, let me call. He did. Okay, you guys are, good to go. Come on, come back with me. I say, okay, cool. I see King. I tell the another nurse that's there with him, I'm like, why did it take so long? It took an hour for me to come out back with my son. And she goes, he's only been here 10 minutes. And I'm like, well, it took an hour after surgery. The doctor went at 10. She wasn't trying to, hear it. She's like, well, he's only been here 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay. So, mommy dearest, is going, straight to King and uncovering and seeing what I actually didn't even look at the ostomy. What I did was I looked straight, looking for the catheter, making sure it wasn't inserted properly. And after saying, don't fucking touch it, and then how you're supposed to put it on there, he's like, so you just kind of tape it. I said, yes, with the white tape. Use the white tape. Okay, so it had a fucking dressing over it. I'm like, fucking A, they don't fucking listen. They do what they want, and it's not right. Because that has to come off, guys, every 24 hours. And that dressing I can't remember the name of them. It's just like a clear film that, that goes over, whatever you want to cover. And it was a pretty big one. So it's real sticky on the skin. And I had to, Tegaderm, I think. I can't remember. So I'm like, fuck, it's gonna hurt him when I take it off. So I left it, of course, but I thought he didn't insert it right because I don't see any output in the bag. But I switched the bag also, where I collect the urine, so I can see exactly if there's a fucking drop. So it took some time for it to come out, and it started. My friend said, look, after like 20 minutes, there's something coming out. I said, oh, okay, cool. So thank God for that. From there, it took us forever. King was complaining about a headache since the surgery, guys. So, it was like they gave him fentanyl. They gave him Versed before surgery, fentanyl after the surgery, plus Dilaudid, and then IV Tylenol. Okay, so this baby was definitely medicated, but he was still complaining about a headache. So I'm like, fuck. So they gave him more Dilaudid after sitting there waiting for the PICU to give us a room. And the PICU then had like emergency after emergency. So they took our room. So they took us to the 9th floor after so long. So there we go to the 9th floor to PEDS at El Paso Children's Hospital. So we go to room 968 and we're starting the recovery process. Once we get there, of course, I'm telling everybody, what the meds are, what they need to know. Don't touch the catheter. That's my job. I'm very active when I am at the hospital with my son. I do everything that he needs other than IV shit. I don't touch the IV. I don't give anything through the IV, obviously. Okay, I'm just there to make sure my son is safe. I give all meds through the G-tube. Nobody does that but me. I don't like mistakes. I've had them in the past when he was a tiny little baby and I was just learning this shit. So I learned to become, the advocate / mother nurse that my son so much needs. And I do all the care except, like I said, nothing with the IV. And some people don't like that because it makes them feel like they're not doing their job. But that's why I laid down the rules. I'm sorry, that's just how it is, okay? Well, I had a nurse that remembers King from back then. I wasn't, feeling too good when he, the day of the surgery. I didn't sleep for shit. The next day, I went all the way till the next day, Wednesday, without no rest. But I had the best day and night nurses there. Congratulations to them for making it through with me. They were awesome. They knew that I mean business and, you're just here to make sure that he's going to make it through and get out, discharged as fast as possible. Very, very nice nurses. I actually gave them both a Daisy Award, because they did great. It seemed like I never had, the day nurse leave at night and the night nurse leave during the day. So continuous care. It felt like the same care day and night, which is what I love. I don't like changes from morning to nighttime because obviously there shouldn't be a change, but they have to switch nurses, and it seemed like it was the same person the whole time, and I fucking loved it. The whole time King is simply complaining about headaches, and I would ask him, does your tummy hurt? What's hurting? And only headaches did he complain about. That's what they were actually kind of like treating him for, you can say. Care management sucked ass. They, would use IV Tylenol and Dilaudid. It's like, which one do you want? That's all we're gonna give them. And I'm like, well, there should be, other things that we can look into, or like, why is he getting these headaches? It seemed like they were migraines at this point. I saw him, and it really hurt his head. It was hard for him to rest because of the headaches, guys. He never, not once till now, complained about his wound, the surgery. I'm so proud of him, guys. He did amazing, but the damn headache was just definitely taking a toll on my son, and I could not rest for the life of me. I never do at the hospital stays, and him being in such pain from his head, it really made me upset. I had to call in the team and be like, what, guys, like, we're better off in the PICU, yes, and I'm used to the PICU, but you guys need to really step it up and help this little boy. You guys can't even manage the pain on a headache, like, imagine if he was really in pain from the body. So I let them have it as usual, guys. And yes, hold on, baby. He's having some type of a very mild cough, so that's what he's complaining about now. It seems like if he was getting sick at the hospital, like if he caught like a bug, and it seems now that we're home that he's complaining about a sore throat. That's why he sounds like that, like he wants to cry. That's why I've been so busy after recovery here at home, because I have to attend to my son, make sure that he's comfortable, and he's doing amazing. So pretty much, guys, after rounding all the people there on the 9th floor that are in charge of the care, I simply let them have it, and they were giving less IV fluid than they should have. The goal is, in a 24-hour time frame, we give 1,800 mLs of fluid, including the medication. So anything that is fluid is counted towards the 1,800. The hospital, for some reason, thought 12 was enough for him, which they were definitely wrong. So they thought, okay, it could be dehydration. At that point, I said, I don't fucking know what it is. I didn't speak to them like that, but I did kind of say, I don't care, what it is, just do something. So they went up on the IV fluids. They gave him a bolus of IV fluids, and it helped very little. But he wasn't he wasn't complaining as much, or I should say, he wasn't complaining as often as he was after the bolus and the higher intake of fluids through the IV. Okay, he was in PO since midnight Monday night, so Tuesday midnight, and didn't have anything to eat or drink until Wednesday afternoon. They gave it a go to the surgeon gave King an okay to drink sips of water and ice chips. So this little boy obviously has a new kidney, guys, and I was scared to get into a situation with the kidney, because there was a dehydration thought because of the headaches. So after Wednesday, giving him the ice chips and stuff, King seemed okay, but he was hungry. We could not give him anything to eat until about maybe almost dinner time on Wednesday, the 29th. The doctor said, start a clear liquid diet. So they, brought him what is it? Apple juice, and then also beef broth. My son doesn't like any of that. He'll drink a little bit of apple juice, but he's really not a fan. He tries though, but then beef broth is like no, I'm not drinking that. So I gave it through the G tube. I cheated with it so I could have my little boy feel full with something. I just kind of let him drink all the water that he wanted. I didn't give a rat's ass what they had to say. I want the kidney hydrated, And I know what to do, guys, after so many surgeries. Like, I know what's right and what's wrong, and I know the limits. And I did the damn thing. I kept my son very comfortable with the fluid intake, with the, liquid diet. Output started coming out. Excuse me. I started seeing the output from the ostomy, and it's fucking huge, guys. Like, his ostomy when he was 2 was like this big. Okay, now it's like this big. Okay, monster. This is the Hulk of ostomies. So I started seeing stuff come out. I'm like, we're doing amazing. And then they said, okay, so we're gonna wait for the doctor tomorrow and see what he has to say. And I thought, we're gonna go home on Thursday. You know what I'm saying? So I took a shower. I take a shower every day there, but I got ready this time. I did my, my makeup and everything. Like, I'm ready to get the hell out of here, And you could see the change in me too. Like, I was like just happy. I saw it in my head. We're leaving. So keep in mind, guys, we were there Tuesday surgery, Wednesday recovery, Thursday the doctor goes in at 7 a.m. No, the nurse practitioner goes in. And, she's not the best to communicate with because she's not in charge. She's not the big dog. She can't say, discharge time. She can say it, but she can't sign it. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference, right? Okay. So she's like, okay, we have clinic. So the doctor's going to come after. And I'm like, damn it, it's going to be in the afternoon. I said, okay, that's fine. She's like, but King has output. I saw, because the nurses write everything down. Everything that's coming out is weighed. Not only weighed, it's just measured. So she's like, the numbers look really well. I'm like, okay, cool, and then I'm just like, she's going to say he can eat. So she's like, so he can eat. So I'm like, fuck yeah, So 8:30, here comes the breakfast, guys. And since the beginning, since we got there to the 9th floor, I'm like, bacon and eggs, guys, as soon as you can. Bacon and eggs. That's his shit. He loves bacon and eggs at the hospital. And, strawberry Pediasure. He's now into that. So, awesome blossom. So, they got him what we asked for. Unfortunately, King was in and out of sleep. He's now very comfortable with his butt not hurting, so he's sleeping a little bit more, and with his legs even open, not like this, guys, because he would sleep like this, like tight, to kind of keep the poop from coming out because it would hurt him. 2 years worth, guys, equally, no. And they did not stitch the butthole. They left it open, which I think is a great idea, because if in the future, of course, we try when he's a little bit older, maybe, I don't know, maybe in his teens. He's already 5. You know what I'm saying? We're close. Maybe they can try it again and they don't have to, open the rectum. It's already open. So that's a plus, right? I think very positive. So that's a plus. Okay, so doctor comes in, says, okay, he's eating. Yes, he had about so much food, this and that. I gave him the rundown on how much intake. Okay, and then he's like, what are you ready for, And I'm like, come on, doc. So he's like, okay, you're good to go, but come see me on Monday. Go to the clinic, make an appointment. Come see me Monday. And I said, okay, I promise, I'm down. Let me go home right now and I'll see you on Monday, doc. So it worked out. We left on Thursday. While we did wait for everything to process, guys, it is a waiting game, I don't care. As long as they said you're good to go, I don't care how many hours it takes. Even if it's 12, I really don't care. I know I'm going home. That's all that matters. I should say we, because there's no I in team, baby. Okay, so 8:30, here comes Platon, right? He gets his bacon and the eggs, and then 12 o'clock, he gets another meal. And my son doesn't do very good with eating his meals fast. Okay, it takes him hours, guys, hours. He's not a regular boy, but he is a real boy, but he's not a regular. Okay, so yes, I'm about to bitch. Here comes the lady bringing in the plate, and she says, I brought you the the lunch for King. This is his, and I'll bring yours in a bit. And I said, okay, great. So she's like, I'm gonna go ahead and take the old plate. And I said, no, you know what? Just leave it because he's gonna still want the bacon. And when he wakes up, he was napping. I said, when he wakes up, he's gonna be very upset because he doesn't see his bacon. And she's like, I can't leave it here more than 2 hours. And I'm like, I've never heard of that. And my son will not eat in 2 hours. My son eats in about 4 to 6. You know, it takes him forever in a day, guys, to eat a meal. And she gave me attitude. She took the food, and when she was grabbing it, I said, you know what? Just take the damn thing. She took it, and then she kind of mentioned it to the nurse. You know what? I think I upset the mom, and the nurse came in and told me, and I said, you know what? I wasn't even going to talk about this. But since you brought it up, she was very rude about it. She didn't care that King's in this state, you know, in this condition, and that he doesn't eat like a regular kid. You have a time frame to eat here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, fuck, is this a prison or is this a PICU or PEDS? So then she's like, I don't understand where that came from. That's not how it works here. And I said, I know, because I live in this hospital. Yes, in the PICU, but it's still the same hospital. It shouldn't change the, you know, floor, the floor where you're at versus, you know, anything. So she's like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to speak to my charge nurse. And I said, you know what? That's a good idea. You know what? Mention it because it did upset me. King should have his meal there, and he's able to eat after so many days of being starved. So I agreed, you know what? This is wrong. And then, so when she brought the plate and took the bacon, King got a meal that he doesn't like. And he's very specific on his meals. Keep in mind, he had a very strict diet for the first 4.5 years of his life. And now he's free to eat whatever. And he's not used to all the foods. So we try very hard to give him to introduce new meals, you know, different things for him to start learning that, you know, everything isn't gonna be the same all the time. Like, we need change. We need to give you different things. And it's very hard to, okay? So, he didn't eat anymore. Excuse me. And it made me upset because he wanted his bacon. And when he woke up, he asked for bacon, guys. And I'm like, I am sorry. I don't have any bacon, but we're getting ready to leave. And I should have gone downstairs to buy him the bacon, guys. But I don't leave my son unattended unless it's an emergency. And at this point, you know, he was drinking his Pediasure, and I said, he's not going to eat the damn thing, and we're going to get discharged. So, but I should have. I feel bad still. 12, you know, was the time that they brought the lunch. About 2:15, here comes another little, this one is a volunteer because of the vest that she was wearing. The other lady was a CNA. So this little girl comes in. She's like, I'm here for the trays. And I said, okay, they're over there. And she's like, okay, but where's the food? And I'm like, over here on the table. And she's like, well, what is it? And I'm like, what the fuck, you know? So I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? So I opened the tray, and it was like tater tots and a fucking turkey, ham, fucking grilled cheese, right? King's not gonna eat that shit. And then I told her, why? Well, why does it matter? And she's like, well, how much of it did he eat? And I'm like, well, what's going on with these damn trays today? Why is everybody so anal about the damn food? From, you know, it's like if they're like running out of food and they're counting and they're probably like saving it or something. I don't know what's going on. So I got pissed, guys. I was livid. I'm like, what the hell's going on with these fucking trays today? And I'm like, and who are you to be asking me how much he fucking ate? Like, are you fucking kidding me? You know, and I'm like, you have no right to ask me anything. And she's like, okay, well, I'll let the nurse know. I'm like, let her know what? You know what I'm saying? I'm getting aggressive, bitch, you know that. Woosah. So she just kind of leaves. I mean, she's a little ass, petite ass, little 5'2". I'm 5'9". I'm 5'9". Okay? I put some tennies on. I'm fucking 5'10". Okay? If I go on a fucking hot ass date, bitch, I'm gonna be 6'3". Okay? Anyways. So she leaves, and then the nurse comes in. She's like, what's wrong? Are you okay? And I'm like, another girl came in here looking for the damn tray, asking all these questions. Where's the food? Where's the food? How much did he eat? And I'm like, what? I don't know what's going on, girl, but I'm pissed. I'm like, I want to punch this damn, window. She's like, no, don't do that. I'm like, yeah, I know, woosah. I'm like, but I'm pissed. I'm telling you right now, I'm pissed. I'm like, get us out of here. And she's like, I'm working on it. And I said, okay, thank you. One of the, I called them. Actually, I wrote a letter because their network never works at the hospital, so I couldn't use the network to give the Daisy Award. So I wrote it down on a paper. It said the Daisy Awards go to, and I named day and night. Those were my nurses, day and night, and I named them El Paso Children's finest ninth floor nurses. It was the cutest thing ever. I'm cool. So, yeah, so we just kind of like, woosad, and then she starts getting everything ready, and then I called Charge. I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to speak to Charge. So then I am gonna say your name, Laura. Laura came in, that's Charge on the ninth floor, and then she's like, that you wanted to speak to me? I'm like, you're Laura? And she's like, yes, ma'am, I'm Laura. I'm like, oh, okay, hi, Laura. I said, I just wanted to kind of give you information on what's going on, and I'm very upset. I said, I don't know if I have to start bringing my own meals, but y'all making it seem like, I don't know, like you guys are running out of food. Like, you guys are hunting it down. You guys are like hunting down the trays. And I'm not talking about the trays so somebody else can use them later on and wash them and shit. I said the food itself was being questioned. I said, and she gave me a 2-hour time frame for my son to eat. And if you can see his condition, and my son had all kinds of stuff because of a surgery. Okay, so he had all kinds of stuff on him, plus the catheter in his belly, the big ass colostomy now, which is bag 2. So we have bag 1 and bag 2 now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, this is a very sick boy. Not talking about just here. Okay, he's admitted. So